Hello and welcome everyone, this is Dmitry. We are having another network programmability stream, and today we are going to continue writing Python code because that's pretty much the only thing that I can do with confidence. So today to be more serious, today we are going to write Cisco Network plug-and-play server in Python to be able to bootstrap Cisco enterprise devices like routers and switches. To be honest, I don't know if we will get far. I don't feel super confident about getting it done, to be honest. There are a lot of pieces that I don't even know if they are going to work or not. So we'll see. I don't know if we are going to get anywhere today, but I hope we will. Anyway, it's going to be a nice learning experience, at least for me, and I hope for you too. If you are watching this as a recording on YouTube, there is always in the description below, there is always a time code, so you can quickly jump into different sections of the stream. If you don't, if some of the things are not very interesting for you. Okay, so a couple of what's top of mind for me this week. There are a couple of things. So I started going through a new course which was just released like 4 days ago by Andre, and I will not even try pronouncing his last name because it's just super hard. I think he's Romanian, if I remember correctly. So he released this course, Advanced JavaScript Concepts, on Udemy, and he's kind of famous instructor on Udemy, and he built very famous, very popular course called I think like Zero to Mastery or something like that. Let me see if I can find it. So this one, the Complete Web Developer, actually, which I found super good, and you can tell that he puts a lot of effort into it, and also he knows what he's saying. He also had a very nice series of articles about JavaScript and some other topics. So I just started this new course of his. I can't provide you a lot of feedback, if it's good or not. But so far I found it interesting. I found it useful, and I hope that it's going to be of the same quality as I expect from him. And to be honest, I'm pretty sure it's going to be. So yeah, I actually need to learn JavaScript to be more comfortable with JavaScript, to be able to build better websites. So yeah, I can't recommend you this, but if this is something that you need, maybe you will find this useful. And it's also not expensive, it's like 12 euros. There are a couple of comments in the chat. Let me try addressing that because I wasn't paying any attention. How important is Active Directory for system admins? I think it's super important for system administrators. I can't imagine any enterprise environment without Active Directory, to be honest. Just go to my Network Plus, just install Dbugs. Yeah, Carlos is replying the same thing, that he thinks it's super important. Yeah, I agree. I can't imagine sysadmin without knowing what LDAP is. Alright. Okay, next thing. So we had a stream about Kubernetes I think 2 weeks ago. And I was just exploring it locally, but then afterwards I installed it for one of my work projects. I am evaluating it for one of my work projects, and I installed it on-prem. So I installed it, unlike like typical Kubernetes deployment where you do it in cloud, so like you from like Google Kubernetes engine or something like that, you get the cluster, or maybe from AWS you can get the Elastic Kubernetes system or something. I don't remember how it's called. So unlike that, I was actually building the cluster like on-prem on top of VMware, and you know, I'm trying to understand if this would be a good idea to do. So I guess I will share with you a couple of thoughts on that. So there is additional overhead, and there are some challenges in doing it on-prem. The challenges that I found was, well, first of all, you have to manage the cluster on your own, right? And to be honest, Kubernetes is complex. It's not easy. Like using it is okay, but like knowing how it actually works and all of the different pieces, it's not an easy system. It's a steep learning curve. Second thing, Behave. Thank you so much for cheers. I really appreciate it. And welcome on the stream. Nice seeing you. Joining a couple of weeks in a row. I'm glad you find it useful. So going back to the some challenges with on-prem Kubernetes. Well, besides you managing the cluster, which is just, I can't say that like bringing up the cluster is like super hard. To be honest, it's just a couple of commands here and there. It's not super hard, but like still managing it is an additional overhead. Now there are some additional challenges. One of them is storage. So ideally you would want to have centralized storage in one way, form or another. And in our environment, we don't have centralized storage for this particular project. So we have a servers with local disks, so we don't have like SAN or something like that. We don't have centralized storage for this. And it does complicate things a lot, because if you want to have any kind of persistent state, you know, you need to store the data somewhere, like for database or maybe for, I don't know, for your task queues or something. Ideally you would want to have centralized storage, so you don't have to care about on which actual node your container is going to be deployed, and we don't have that, so it's an additional challenge to deal with. There is another challenge, which is load balancer and ingress. So one of the things that you usually get out of the box from cloud Kubernetes installation is load balancer. So what this means is that you spin up multiple containers, let's say of your backend application or something, and then based on like domain name or something and some settings, the cloud will actually load balance the requests to that application for you. So you can spin up these pods in different places, and then like load balancer will do it for you. Now, when you do it on-prem, you are much more limited with load balancing options. It becomes a pain, and you have to. So what I was doing, I was using. Damn, I lost one of my AirPod, like always. So one of the things that, yeah, you have to deal with load balancing on your own, or you get a lot of limited options there. I started playing with Metal LB, which is like software load balancer for Kubernetes on-prem, which is this. It's also developed by Google. It works, it's good, There are some things that bothers me, how it does load balancing, but in general it works. But yet again, it's yet another thing you have to care about. In cloud, it's like you don't even have to think about it, to be honest. More or less, you like just get this functionality out of the box. Now, another interesting thing that I noticed is that how networking is done inside of the Kubernetes cluster is complex. And there are many different options. There are options which do L3 with BGP. There are options which do VXLAN between pods, and there are some other options. And this, I think, where it gets super interesting from perspective of like, who is supposed to know how Kubernetes networking works? And to be honest, I don't have an answer for this. There are a lot of actual networking technologies involved into that, like, as I told you, BGP or VXLAN, and some also Linux bridging in some places as well, which I think fits more under network engineering rather than DevOps-ish. And so, yeah, I just don't know, like, whose responsibility is managing Kubernetes networking and troubleshooting it if it breaks. So maybe it's one of the things that you as a network engineer can think of, and like maybe it would be like differentiator factor for you to start learning like how Linux networking works, how Linux bridging works, how Kubernetes networking works. I can tell you, it's like, it's yet another vault and yet another bucket of knowledge, which I don't know, like, in general, who is supposed to know these days. I would guess that network engineer would be actually the best choice to, for knowing this. So, like, maybe it makes sense for you to start learning some of that. Because yeah, as I told you, there are a lot of like networking technologies involved into that, like BGP, VXLAN, and some other things. So yeah, let me again address the comments. The chat is super active today. Yeah, so one of the comments is that, yeah, it's almost midnight in India, and yeah, like I was always trying to find the time where the majority of people can watch. So for example, during the week I work, right? So I could stream only in the kind of like late evening, but I don't really want to do that after working days. And on weekends it's much more easier, but if I do it early in the morning, then it means that people who watch me in US, then they can watch. So I selected this kind of time slot which is convenient for me and for some people in Europe, like 6 p.m. my time, but also people on East and West Coast in US can watch. So, but unfortunately I can't make it work for everyone. There is some question in the chat. I see industry transitioning towards DevOps styles working. Job roles for network engineers are asking for so much beyond networking, including scripting, sysadmin, DevOps tools, containers, virtualization, etc. I can learn automation, but the rest are overwhelming. I'm a network engineer for 10 years and I don't know where to go from here. I don't have an answer to that. I think I don't know, like I also see some of these positions that are requiring jacks of all trades, which realistically can't happen. Like, for example, I have been doing mostly network programmability and like programming at my new role for like the last 1.5 years, and I barely did any networking. And I forgot a lot of networking. So like, and I understand that even like network automation, network programmability on its own, there are so many different things to learn, and if you want to build something cool. So like I think those like job role, well, like the skills that are required by these job roles are not realistic. I think you can be good at something in one thing, like it could be building automated network automation solution, it could be actual network engineering, it could be being a good DevOps guy, but I don't think you can be good in all of them. I think it's not realistic. I think you can be good at something one and have some understanding how other things work, like on the surface, so that you can talk to these other people, other departments. But like I don't believe in jack of all trades, and yeah, this is my feeling towards it. So I would suggest that you select something that you're really passionate about, and maybe you start learning these other things, but not necessarily to the level where you are like doing all of that, but on the level where you can have conversations with people doing that. And when people say, oh, like we run this in Kubernetes on-prem with this load balancer, and we are using Calico, which is using BGP or something like that, you at least get some understanding of what's going on. Or like when other people tell you, okay, we are running a lot of our stuff in the cloud, and you have an understanding like, okay, how the network connection works from your on-prem network infrastructure towards the cloud, stuff like that. But not necessarily knowing, okay, like how do I actually manage Kubernetes cluster, or how do I build this virtual machine in the AWS, or set up the whole AWS infrastructure. I don't think it's realistic to even consider that one person can know all of these things. Yeah, I hope I helped a little bit, or maybe not. I don't know. But I was trying to do my best with explaining my point of view here. Mentors. Looking forward to this awesome project. Thank you, mentors. Let me see if there is anything else. I need to be prepared for all the skills for the interviews, and it's hard. Yeah, okay, yeah. I think that's true. I think you need to understand, as I said, like what is your main area of interest, what you want to be good at, and you would want to kind of like understand a little bit of that, a little bit of this, so that you can show on the interviews that you can support conversation on these topics. But you can even like make it clear in the interviews that, okay, this is like what I consider myself an expert or professional, and I know something about these other things, but I have never operated the cluster, or I have never did that or this. Yeah, I agree with you that a lot of these job roles have really unrealistic expectations. Okay, I think I addressed majority of comment there on this topic. Okay, now another thing. So like let's do a quick summary about Kubernetes on-prem. Oh, I told you like the challenges. I didn't tell you another thing, that regardless of all of these challenges, I think there is a lot of value in running Kubernetes and deploying workloads in Kubernetes. Like once I start, I'm sorry, there are a lot of messages coming on my mobile phone here, so it's vibrating all the time. So I think that there is a lot of value in running your applications in Kubernetes. I think it's a very scalable way to run applications, and I understand why people switch to it from like virtual machines and stuff. So I see a lot of I see a bright future for Kubernetes, to be honest. And once I started actually doing it from more usage perspective and less managing perspective, it was very cool experience. You kind of get familiarized with the YAML files, which are main building blocks in Kubernetes. But once you are comfortable with that, deploying applications to the cluster is super easy. It's literally with one command you can deploy a scalable application on your infrastructure, and you can even build that in CI/CD pipelines and have one button deployment or something. There are so many cool features that you get out of the box, like load balancing, monitoring, auto scaling. I was blown away. I honestly think that we will see just more and more switch to Kubernetes in the nearest future. So, as I told you, there may be an opportunity for network engineers to be part of those conversations as well. Maybe learning Kubernetes networking or something like this, because I must tell you, Kubernetes networking is super hard. So you may be one of those people who would be able to understand networking flows in the Kubernetes cluster, and how load balancing works and how to do this and that. So keep an eye on that. It could be something that may give you a boost in your value for the market, I think. Okay, now another thing is that there is this show called This Is IT, and it's being run by two awesome folks who I really respect a lot, which are Network Chuck and David Bombal. Both of them have their YouTube channels where they post a lot of content about networking, and they already had two episodes of the show. It's basically a conversation on some of the topics, and sometimes they invite guests. So I have watched the first one. I haven't yet watched the one with my dear friend Stuart Clark, or Big Evil Beard. So I will watch that once I have 30 minutes. I think it's really good. It's really, from my perspective, it's really good to hear this, to listen to these conversations by other people in the industry. It's basically the show about network engineering, but not not only. It's also about DevOps and cloud and stuff like that. So I think it's very cool. So I encourage you to check it out. So okay. Let me see if there is anything else in the chat. Okay, so couple of I don't know what happened, but if you have watched my previous streams, every so often I complain that I don't have topics. And I still need ideas, don't get me wrong, but something has happened, and during one day I came up with 5 different topics for my upcoming streams. I couldn't believe myself. So I'm giving you the list, so this is something that you may expect in the nearest future. So I'm thinking about checking the Hugo, which is the static website generator written in Go, and it's an easy way to spin up your personal blog. Currently for my blog, which I barely write, I use Jekyll, which is the static web page generator written in Ruby. But it seems like Hugo got much more attraction, and it's much more popular solution right now. So we may be looking into that and rebuilding my blog live in Hugo. I actually think it's not going to be super hard to do. Another one is we haven't explored any CI/CD as part of this series at all, and I think it's time we start adding this. But the reason why I don't want to do this yet, because I haven't had a good example where like it's kind of like a real use case, not like some artificial thing. And I think I actually have one, even though it's not related to network engineering yet. But I still think it's a good idea to bring it up, and to show you the power of CI/CD. So what we can do is we can build CI/CD pipeline, also for my blog, to be able to rebuild my website automatically anytime I push my new Markdown to Git. So like you write your new blog post in Markdown, you do git push, and the CI/CD will create a container and deploy it on my actual server live. All of that automatically done. So I'm thinking we can use that use case to build our CI/CD pipeline, and then maybe later, like a couple of months later, we can actually apply CI/CD to network engineering. Another thing is that we have already built Django plus Celery website for the network automation, where we were displaying a web page with devices. You could click on the device where the list of interfaces is going to be listed, and then you can switch interface on and off on the web page. I think we can add a Vue.js, a front-end web framework, to actually build a proper website using the latest technology, where your front-end JavaScript is pulling the REST API in the backend to do that. So we can do that. There are another couple of interesting topics. One of them is DNS. So there are some modern solutions like Core DNS, which you can even deploy in Docker for your DNS server. It's actually Core DNS is used for Kubernetes. So I think we can try building DNS server in Core DNS server and config in Docker, and see if we can deploy DNS server to our environment easily. And another one, which is a buzzword kind of, which is called serverless. And if you don't know what serverless is you build some code, you write some code in some of the languages, and you push it to cloud, to like AWS or Google Cloud Functions, and you assign this code to some HTTP or HTTPS endpoint. And what it does is, if you have a HTTP request to this endpoint which you selected, this function is going to be there is going to be a special instance which is going to be started on the fly in cloud infrastructure, run your code that you wrote, and then it will be turned down. So this is the idea behind serverless, is where you don't have like a dedicated resources, you don't have like Kubernetes cluster, you don't have dedicated virtual machines, that you write code, you associate it with some endpoint, with some event, and when this event happens, the backend spins up infrastructure to run this code on the fly, and then tears it down, and it's super fast. We are talking about milliseconds to be precise. Some people say that it's much cheaper to do that. I haven't tried, I don't know. So there are this serverless offering from a number of the cloud providers, like from Google, from AWS, from Azure, from all of them. There is some solution. The reason why and I think it was super hype-ish during the last year. It still kind of is, but the reason why I bring this up like right now is because Google Cloud Functions started supporting Python code for it. So you can actually write Python code, because previously, they have a lot of restrictions. Like in Google Cloud, only JavaScript was supported before. Now there is Python support as well. So I think we can also build some serverless application and deploy it to like Google Cloud, for example. Okay, last piece, there will be no stream in 2 weeks. Yeah, no stream in 2 weeks. I'm going to Switzerland, to Zurich, for Mike Shinoda concert, so I will be completely out of pocket for that weekend, so unfortunately we will skip that streaming slot. Okay, with that, let's actually start today's topic, which is building the PnP server, Cisco Network PnP server. So the Cisco PnP is, there is no standard for it, so it's proprietary solution. What it allows you to do is it allows you to manage the networking devices, Cisco networking devices, and bootstrap them. There are a couple of things that are kind of like built into PnP, like any kind of CLI push. You can upgrade images, you can deploy configs, and as far as I know, and don't quote me on that because I am not super familiar with PnP, unfortunately. It is built, so there is no separate solution for it, but it's built into APKM and Cisco DNA Center. So they're using that to bootstrap devices. Now, there are, unfortunately, I couldn't find exact specifications, like, you know, like official specifications of the protocol, but I did find something on DevNet, which is this. Let's see, no, not this one, this one. So there is this page where it describes like PnP workflows. There is no sample code, unfortunately. It says coming soon, but I don't think it will ever be the case. There are also schemas for the payloads. This may be useful for today. And also I found this page. No, not this one. Not this one. This one. So I also found this page where it actually describes some of the specifications of the PnP. Like what kind of endpoints your server should listen on. In order to create PnP server. Why would you want to do this? Because you would want to manage your, well, you would want to create ZTP, completely autonomic ZTP solutions. Now, you can partially do that. There are a number of ways to do that. But they, in general, they do have their own shortcomings. For example, you can actually use DTP as part of the like TFTP boot. I forgot like protocol names and stuff, but you can have a DHCP server, you bring up your device, and on management interface it will do DHCP. On that DHCP server you can say, okay, go load this config from this TFTP location and go load this image from TFTP location. There are a couple of problems with that. The main one, which I really would like to have, is I would like to recognize my devices by serial number. So like you bring up a device and it sends, so like to one of these like ZTP servers, it sends its serial number, and then by serial number and by your own like local database, you can say, oh, okay, this device is actually should be router 2 in KRK for something, you know. So like you can distinguish the devices based on serial number, and then based on that you can push the relevant config to them. So this part, the serial number, I really miss. There are ways to do it even without PnP, to be honest, even with serial number, but the workflows becomes a little bit more complex. You would need to push some kind of temporary config with TFTP where you can manage a device, you record the IP address, then you log in and you check serial number by your automation system. You recognize what this device is, and then you push the relevant config. So this is one way to do it, and I saw people doing that. You can also do this recognition based on the MAC address and the DHCP client ID on the management interface. This is what we were doing based in our environment. I don't know if I actually have never tried TFTP boot, but I don't think with TFTP boot you actually save the image locally after the TFTP boot happened. And yeah, I just want to explore PnP solution. So because with PnP there is a way to like push the image to the device, push any kind of command you want. Device itself will report to your serial number. So I do think it's a little bit cleaner solution, and it uses HTTP as a transport. The problem, as I told you, is that, well, it's not standard, and it's really hard to find full specs of the protocol to be able to implement it. So this is the only page that I found with specs. And I also found some pages on the forum that even this is a little bit outdated. So we'll try doing that. We'll see where we get. I have no... yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. Mohammed is saying it's closer to Cisco SD-WAN via HTTP. Yeah, so... yeah, the SD-WAN code and the previously known as Viptela solution does ZTP just, you know, they have their own way, since, you know, you all manage that from the vManage, and a lot of times your vManage is in the cloud. It's a, like, the workflow is just a little bit different, but the idea is similar, that, you know, you bring up the device, it gets an IP address, then it goes to this vManage and says, oh, I have the serial number, and then you know, like, and then on the vManage side, this is how you can distinguish the device and then push whatever you want. So yeah, I guess it's very similar to that. So this would be for non-SD-WAN images, I guess. And there is a link in the chat, let me see. And I opened it in incorrect window. Hold on. Yeah, there are workflows. So yeah, and we will not be talking about this today. But yes, the idea would be similar. I would want to manage this via like HTTP and have a little bit better control for that. So we'll see. Like, as I told you, like, I don't know where we will get in a couple of hours. Maybe we will not get it to work at all. Maybe we will. But anyway, it's going to be an interesting learning experience. So if we will get somewhere, then I will publish this code so anyone can use it. And, you know, that would be a way for you to bring up your ZTP server, for example, which is not part of APKM or Cisco DNA Center. All right. So where do we get started? So let me try to describe some of the workflows. And let me see. I think this one is good enough. So like the idea that we are going to explore today is that device boots up. On the first interface, it sending DHCP discover, right? If DHCP server may reply, you know, go through the whole DORA process, and it may reply with an IP address of PnP server and with a specific option. I don't remember option. Is it 43? I don't think it's 43. Well, maybe, whatever. So it pushes the option with IP address of the PnP server, and then device see this, understands it, and then sends HTTP request to some specific endpoints on that server to see if the PnP server is up and running. So this would be the idea. And once there is this discovery and then everything is good, then you can manage from that PnP server your device. There are some other options like DNS lookup, cloud redirection. We will not going to touch this today. So what do I need? So I have here my GNS3 topology, where I have my Ubuntu server, which is going to be PnP server actually. Let me change the host name. So this is going to be PnP server. We have here R1, which is, we will rename it DHCP server. So this one is Ubuntu server, Ubuntu 18.4. This one is the router acting as the DHCP server, because I don't want to. Ideally, you would want to put it on Linux box, but I don't want to spend time remembering how to configure DHCP on the Linux server, to be honest. So we will have a router doing that, and here are our two CSRs, which are going to act as which we'll try to bootstrap. So let's actually run them. Meanwhile, because it will take some time, we'll be rebooting them as well, but for now I think we can start them. So okay, I have this Ubuntu server and I have this one, and I think I established an IP address already. Yeah, so there is this network 172.18.0.0/24. So let me actually write this down so I remember. So it's 172.18.0.0/24, and this guy is the 02. So this one is 02. This one is this one is 01. Okay, and then yeah, that's fine. So this one is this, and this one is IP. So it has actually an IP address here. 208. So this IP address is actually on this interface, which is going to the cloud, so that from my machine I can connect to the PnP server. And I think I should be able to get the internet connection now, hopefully. Or no. Yeah, I'll have to configure proxies in DNS servers. Damn. Why DNS is not working though? I mean DNS server should come from the my machine, so what? For some reason my server, like my Sapphire, I don't think it's acting at the well, it should be able to resolve. I don't see why not. Why this guy is not resolving though? No, it's resolving just fine. Yeah, so it's resolving fine. Temporary failure. What if I say let's look up? Yes, this one doesn't work. This is super weird. Like, why wouldn't this work? Like, damn. Okay. So let me think. Yeah, well, I will need internet connection here. There is no way I will not need internet connection. So let me do the following. Let me take my Sapphire. I will have to... Well, see, here's the thing. I mean, this one works. I can ping Cisco.com from here, so there is internet access. But I can ping, like, Debian org, for example. So there is definitely some problem with resolving. And we will actually need this. Because we will need to install Python and install packages. So we will actually need access. Damn it. So, okay, I have an idea. Just bear with me here. I mean, the lab machine is behind proxy, so that may be a problem. Oh, is this what I think it is? Yeah, it could be. Okay, this traffic is coming on this interface. Yeah, I broke something. I'm very good at breaking my networking. Damn, that can be... This will not be good. Okay, chain forward. No, not this one. Or is this? No, it's this one. So on the vir br 0, from this subnet, whenever we accept and then the return traffic is accepted if there is existing connection, and then it should go through the NOT table. See, if I disable IP tables, it will be even worse. Will it be worse? Well, damn, this bothering me so much. Like, what if I do dig on my... This one doesn't work. But it should be. Because I can do dig here. This guy. Oh, wow. Now I think I managed to break networking here completely. So, what I don't get? No, I get an IP address here. I get filter, but I get an slookup, for example. I get it. So what's the problem? I mean, if I'm saying that, okay, this guy give me the DNS. Okay, I think we will need to have a change of plans here, folks. So instead of... Yeah, I don't understand why this doesn't work, to be honest. And this is super weird. I mean, this guy is this server, and this guy can resolve anything. So when I say this one, this should be fine. Unless those packets are filtered, which they are not, right? I mean, why they would be filtered if I can do the same thing and I can say Cisco.com here and this works? Yeah, there is some issue here. I don't know what it is. So what we may do, I think we can build the PnP server directly here. I think that would be okay-ish. And so we don't need this. Yeah, not super good, is it? Yeah, I think we don't need this server anymore. We could connect this switch to this switch. The only problem is that we'll start getting the DHCP. Yeah, damn. Yeah, this should be done differently. So if we don't need the server anymore, we need to do the following. We need to because the cloud also gives the DHCP address, which may be the issue. So I need to put this server here and then connect this server to the switch. Now this server will get an IP address here. Yeah, I think this may work. DHCP server. Yeah, because we will be connecting via HTTP to this guy, which is 192.168.1.2.1. So write this down. 192.168.1.2.1. This guy will get some random IP address. I don't care about which one. We can set it up. So yeah, I don't need this Ubuntu one. Here though, I need to have it change. 00 is this guy, and then 01 is that guy. Okay, so conft 00, no IP address DHCP 1, no shut. Okay, so this guy is going to be a DHCP server. We also will need what? We will need IP domain name here, maybe. Let's say difficult with me. Or maybe IP domain name Cisco up. No, it's fine. So IP SSH version 2, username Cisco privilege level 15. Oh. So we have a user. We have line VTY 015 for transport login local. Okay, and then the key generator same modules. Okay. So there is yeah, this one. Okay, so this one is going to DHCP server can give an IP address of this guy as a PnP server, so then we can spin up our PnP server here. Yeah, I think this should be fine. We can actually start building it and see where it gets us. So, okay, let's try. So Cisco PnP server. What's my Python version? Okay, so poetry init. Okay, so poetry add Flask. So we will be building this PnP server based on Flask. this out. And I will need to set up auto deploy here as well. So this one, okay, then I need to set up two things. So I need to set up interpreter, okay. Now another thing that we need to set up is deployment. Deployment SFTP 3 server. Well, let's do Sapphire. Sapphire host Sapphire. Channel 3. Cisco 3. Save password test connection. Yes. Successfully connected. Root path. Okay, home Gmail 3, and then this should be this should go to the something like this. So then the way we will test this is we will upload this to Sapphire. This is uploaded, so if you go here, okay, Cisco PnP server, 2 files are here, perfect. So now the last piece is set up automatic deploy, automatic upload. Okay, cool. Hi, where do you host your blog? The question in the chat. I host it in DigitalOcean. Right. Cool. So let's also check what Python version is here. Okay, it's 3.6.6. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so let's create, so we have Flask, right? Flask, Python, yeah, so let's add a couple of dev dependencies as well. So poetry, add dev, IPDB, and well, we just need IPDB for now, or maybe black as well. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, it will take some time. So let's check if all of that works the way it's supposed to. So we will create here something like this. We will have here main py like this, and let's just copy paste the quick start. Okay, so let's do this. Yeah. Okay. So, right. Okay. So we have this, and we have to export Flask app. I need to Flask run. Okay, I will need to export this. So I think the easiest way to do that would be to create dir-env. So in case you don't know, dir-env is just amazing thing. So when it sees env.rc, I will have this. So we will need to to do get or user local bin dir-env. Damn. Oh, it worked. So ls, so which dir-env, what is going on here? So dir-env what? My user local bin is what? No, it's right here. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. So we need this. We need the shell rc. And I will do it off screen just to make sure that there is no secrets in this one. Yeah. Source shell rc. No. No, no. Oh, I am such an idiot. I don't know how to use vget properly. Oh. Okay, I will do it this way. Okay, so dir-env is working now. I will need what, env-rc, I guess, right? Env-rc. So this will be in projects Cisco PnP server. We'll need that here vim nrc, and it will say export. Export. This is app main UI. Okay. And then dir env allow. Okay, and then echo flask up. Okay, so if I did everything correctly, I should be able to say poetry run flask run. No. What? No such file. What do you mean no such file? Okay, this is super weird. No. Damn it. This is so bad. This is so bad. No module named Clio. Yeah, I have to install poetry again. Because it should be in my home directory. And I will need to add this to my path. Okay. Yeah, let's check. Yeah, I also check this off screen just to make sure that there are no I don't know, like some secret API keys or something like that. bear with me here, folks. Okay, I think we're good to go. Okay, please work. Please work, please work, please work. Yeah, it seems to be working. Okay, so it's installing stuff on my server. Now I should be able to say a poetry run, Flask run, I think. Well, to be fair, I should do it first here. Let's do first here. So let's say export Flask app is... Oh! Yeah, I think I know what that is, right? So... PY? So, poetry run. Flask run. Yeah, so this works. So I think I made a mistake there. Oh, not here. Yeah, it's not app, it's PvP. Okay, so poetry run, Flask run. Okay. What is going on? Who is using my port? Damn, DNS3 server is on 5000. This will not work because I need sudo here. Oh no, it's actually work. Oh, okay, so this works. Okay, so the way we can test this from the network device is we can say, so from this guy I should be able to ping this guy, and I can say more HTTP no. Oh. What? Is this correct IP address? Okay, so this request is definitely coming here. Let's do something a little bit different here. So let's say hello. And let's say here more hello. Why saying 404? Why are you saying 404? Okay, here we go. Nice. Easy. Perfect. So we spin up the Flask server on this NAT cloud, and we are storing HTTP, and this HTTP, you can actually see this HTTP request come and go here on this DHCP server. So this part is fine. So now we can actually start building the Flask app. 1.5 hours into the stream, we can start building the what we were supposed to be building. And there are a couple of challenges besides specs that it's really hard to find. Okay, so let me see, what do we, so we will need to configure DHCP server correctly. I think I need one test though. Let me see if one of these put it up already. So let's say, well, that's fine. I want to configure the DHCP server here on router 1, right? So it's DHCP excluded address, I think. Excluded address, let's say this one to 99. Well, let's say 100. Okay, so this one and IP DHCP pool. Let me try remembering anything. So it's network 1. That's actually, it's the network 172.18.00/24. And then default router is 172.18.01. Do we need something? No, actually, no. That's bad. That's bad because there is no reverse routing. Jesus Christ, we will need to do routes on this box as well. Okay, so let's do the following. Let's put this IP address as static. Yeah, that's not good. I forgot about this. We need the routes to be able to reach this network from here. So yeah. I am not very optimistic this is going to work at all. Okay. No, this is epic fail. I have collision of networks. No. This is just terrible. Okay. Um, okay. So if I did this correctly, no, yeah, whew. Okay, this is so much better. So if I did it correctly, if I go to this guy, 192. So this guy should get an IP address from 172.20 range. Maybe. Okay. So okay, we see this. We should get a message that okay, address is received. It's 101. So here I should be able to ping 101. Okay, which I can. Okay, so I do have communication from here to here. What this also means is that if I rerun my Flask server, right? So let me see. If I do this, here I can say 192.168.121 6,000. Hello. Nice. Okay. So you can see here that we get the response here. So this server is hit, right? Yeah, we see here. Okay, so we have HTTP connectivity from this guy to our server. So now we can actually try building our PnP server. Well, so okay, not here. Where was it? Yeah. So, well, I guess one of the things that we need to do would be oh, why is SQL? Plain. Okay. Okay, this one is fine. Active feature operation code. Okay. 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 Delimiter. Fine. K4. Fine. 3 PnP server. IP address. P3. No. Okay, so this one is going to be what? 6,000. And then IP address. Can I do it with dots? Yeah. So PnP. So it's okay. B2. It's B2 and then I and then IP address in decimal format. Okay, so it's B2 and then IP address here. This is going to be 192.168.121. Okay, let's see if we're missing something else. We can, I guess we would want to have debug on. Yeah, let's have debug on, right? So debug on, it's N. Where do I see this? 1N on or 1D? N or D? I don't know. I think debug is something else. Okay, B, I, port number, K4. Do we have K4? Yeah, K4. Password, we don't have password, we don't have username, we don't have P. J, port, yes. T, no. Z, NTP, no. Okay. Okay, debug option. D, debug is on and debug is off. Feature code A or version subversion delimiter arg list. Okay, so there was one additional thing. B2 K4 J6000 IP address is here. Yeah, actually I will leave this to have like a reminder. Yeah, I think this is correct. So the administrator configures DHCP server. You know what I really want to check on this guy is actually very strange, like super weird, because here on router 1 on this guy I can actually resolve this. This is so weird. Well, can I do no, there is something still blocking, but I guess we will leave it for another time. At least DNS is being resolved here. Actually, it's very interesting that here we got an IP address, but PnP discovery stopped here already. Okay, so let's see. DHCP server, blah blah blah, the section store for P and Linux. Yeah, we will need to modify this one. DHCP pool. Let's say domain name. Domain name tnfecal.me. DNS server is 192.168.1.2.1. Don't need lease. Administrator creates an entry in DNS server. No. Network devices cabled and power on. Since the startup configuration is empty, PnP agent is triggered and sends Cisco PnP in DHCP option 60 in discover message. Since DHCP server is not configured to recognize option 60, it ignores option 60. DHCP server assigns an IP address and sends DHCP offer along with configured domain name. PnP agent reads the domain name. Oh, this is DNS lookup. No, we don't care about this. We want this, right? So administrator configures DHCP server to send PnP server address in option 43. Pool is necessary. Yeah, blah blah blah. Add option. Yeah, so we need option 43 and then that string, right? No, where did it go? Yeah, here. Okay, so we do this. So now we will try connecting to the PnP server, which we haven't set it up yet. So sends options. DHCP server matches Cisco PnP in option 60, sends configured string in option 43. This string is interpreted by PnP agent and PnP server IP address is equal. Yeah, correct. So yeah, I think this is already good to go. Now, additionally, what I think makes sense is, well, actually, I don't need this. No. What I want to do is still here. Okay, and HTTP. Okay, so let's do HTTP or HTTPS. Oh, I guess, whatever. Okay, so HTTP. So the next thing that we are going to do, I'm going to take this router 3 and I will do clear startup. Okay, and then reload. No. So if I did everything correctly, we'll start seeing the log message here that we are trying to talk to PnP server. Maybe. Ideally. So though that said, it's going to take time. Okay. So, okay, while this is in the process, let's try figuring out what we should do next. So, PnP services, HTTP or HTTPS, worker requests, by whatever. Okay, so we need work request. Hello. Okay, so work request is initiated by PnP agent to check its PnP server for any new work requests. PnP agent sends this message after discovering the server or when PnP profile is configured, and also at the beginning of every retry. This is applicable only when the transport is HTTP or HTTPS. Yes. Well, it would be good to know what is expected as a reply from this guy. Okay, we don't need back off. Okay. PnP work request. To be honest, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this. Nice. Okay. So first and foremost, we actually see that we were trying to connect to the proper place. Now here we got 404, but it worked. Okay, so PnP hello. So let me try finding this hello then. What is this? Okay, during HTTP, the PnP agents sends the following messages types to the server. PnP hello. PnP agent sends this message only during the discovery phase to ensure this is where I may need schemas. Okay, so let's try doing that. So this is going to be what? Up route. Okay. This is going to be PnP hello, and this is we will return 200. Okay. Easy. What did I do? Oh, yeah. Def PnP hello. Right. Okay. So let's continue. So let's try. So then we will send work request is initiated by PnP agent to check with PnP server for any work requests. PnP agent sends this message expected to OK with one of the service methods which are described in PnP services chapter. Initiated by PnP agent to check with PnP server for any new work requests. PnP agent send this message after discovering the server or when a PnP profile is configured. See, I don't see here reply though. I mean, this is what I will be able to see on the device. Okay, let's do this. Let's first of all add LXML and XML to dict. We may need this as well. Okay, 5 stars, 0 stars, 0 stars. Okay, this is 2010. Wow. What is this? Okay, this is the same one, but at least it was released this year. Okay, it seems it refers to the same docs, though. I don't know, it says Flask XML RPC, but here I don't see any like XML at all. This is a really simple example how to create your own API using Flask XML RPC. I don't know, this doesn't look very optimistic to me. I mean, in the worst scenario, I think I can have like Jinja. And I think this is what I'm going to do. Yeah, I think so. We will, for incoming, we will, yeah, for incoming stuff, we are going to do XML to dict, but for outgoing stuff, we would need like Jinja templates. I mean, I want to use this, but I don't know, I don't see any XML here. Flask XML response. Okay, this is interesting, by the way. Okay, but this changes response for everything though. Yeah, no, I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I can just return the whole XML string. Damn, I don't like XML. By the way. Oh wow, this actually didn't work. What? Oh yeah, I am an idiot. It should be. Yeah. This is what it should be. So this guy keeps sending stuff to this 6000 port. Damn, I should have used 8080 by the way. I think this is what I need to do. So okay. Okay, so now we are doing this on 8080. So here we will have 8080. Okay. I think I would like to do this, like so get device info, let's say IP address, right? Then the first thing is going to be URL. So this is going to be host. What's the host? This will be what? HTTP host, and then this is super hard. Well, I wouldn't say like super hard, but Oh, here's sample request. Oh, okay, it's config upgrade. No. Okay, let me I will try this, but I don't know, it doesn't feel right to me. And we also need like XML header. And I think this is not needed. Okay. Oh, it's question mark. Okay. Okay, so get device info. Where is this? I don't know, this doesn't feel right to me. Request to retrieve device information from PnP agent. Okay, so we wrap this into XML and I guess into like work request. PnP request. So I send this to the device as part of the XML. Oh, and then I get this as a result. Okay. Okay, so when I say I send this, so I should send this to PnP work request. Okay. So this should be here, right? And then data is going to be so this is going to be path from file. Okay. So then data. Okay, let's read the file. Let's just say work requests, and then we return I don't know now. Oh, no, it's fine. Okay. Okay. Okay, so here, no, it's not here. It should be here. Okay, so our client sends post on PnP work request. We are processing it here. I don't know, this is just feels weird. No. I will try looking at the communication flow again. No, it should be here. Okay, so again, the device will send work request. The server will reply with PnP request. Okay, so work request URL for request to retrieve device information from PnP agent. See, I think this is incorrect though. There's a question in the chat, how do you keep your Twitch stream videos on YouTube? Yes, I do. So if you just go to youtube.com/dmfigo, you'll find all of my recordings. Something feels super weird to me, like I think this is incorrect. There was this one. The device calls PnP hello and startup receives 200. Afterwards, it's called PnP requests with the body. Okay, so then the body. My responses were are corresponding values from requests. Then device gets config. My response for V are. Oh, okay. Okay, so device sends hello. It gets 200. Okay, now I send work request. And then I get the config. Well, I think I can actually try getting this. So, config upgrade. Then device gets config, which looks like this. As the config is received, I can see hostname change on the console. It calls work response with a success and receive a buy message. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think this is actually better than what I was doing before. So let's do load config XML. We'll say now one of the things is that I will have to copy this correlator, I think, all the time. So I will need to get it from info here. So I will need to take it from here, then I will have to put it back. Yeah. Okay, request data. Yeah, so I think we can do the following. So we get this work request and we will print request data. We also will go here to the root and we will print request data here as well. This is not needed. Then the way we test it is we say poetry run flask run. It's better to copy paste here. Okay, so the way I check this, no, actually, well, oh, there is also Flask debug. I definitely need this. So let's say vim env So if I do this and then I go to what, localhost 8080, yeah, it prints the stuff here on the debug log. Okay, so this is what I needed. Okay, so let's go back here. Okay, I don't need this anymore. I will leave this even though it's not used yet. So root PnP hello. Okay, so we will respond to hello. And then another piece is that we will have to deal with that XML that we receive from the work request. We will have to deal with it here, which is fine. I will take it, we will do LXML parsing there, and we will need the correlator ID from there, so that for subsequent responses we can use that ID. So yeah, let's actually go ahead and run this. No, actually, what am I doing? I need to rerun my server on port 8080, and then I need to reboot my device, which is here. So I say n write erase. Erasing environment file system will remove all config file, yes, and then reload, no, proceed with reload. Okay, so now that it's reloading, I can actually I will need to read how I can extract the correlator ID with LXML. Where is this example?